Coming up on WNY News Now, the Jamestown community comes together, continuing the legacy of a young life gone too soon, and why the number of house fires are up this time of year, what you can do before sparks fly. Plus, what's the confusion about New York's Test to Stay program and how the lack of guidance is impacting our local schools.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. The latest local news is coming up, but first, let's get a check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by. And Dakota, today it's all eyes to the sky as our region braces for lake effect snow, but I hear you have some good news for those of us in the southern tier.
Yes, now the snow is going to come our way tonight, tomorrow, and then through the day on Friday, but it looks like the majority of it will likely be to our north. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, but this is a camera we're going to be watching. Barcelona Harbor 42 over 30, and we do have some precipitation on the way. There's going to be some mixed rain and snow showers through the afternoon, but it's going to come later in the day. So basically the early afternoon will be nice and dry, but cloudy though. 33 was the high yesterday, 29 is where we started the day, 59 and 9 below zero. So through the afternoon, 37 to 44 is the high. A good amount of clouds through the day. Scattered rain and snow showers arrive later in the day, and it will be breezy with gusts near around 30 miles an hour. But that lake effect machine gets cranking. We'll talk about who's going to get the most amount of snow and where, along with that ultimate satellite solution 7-day forecast later on in the show. So stay with us.
The area's largest school district is seeking more guidance about New York's Test to Stay program as they work to crack down on COVID-19 spread in an effort to keep kids in class this winter. Our Bronson Rasmussen has more on the mixed messages the district has received. Bronson?
Jamestown Public Schools has received a massive amount of take-home COVID tests for the returning students. However, they do not have enough time to distribute them before the winter break was over. The question now is, what's next as kids are back in class?
We still have a lot of guidance to work our way through to figure out exactly what the health department, both at the state level and the county level, would like us to do with those, and to provide parents with an opportunity, if they wish, to test their students, their children at home.
The main problem that Whitaker and the school board faces is mixed-match guidance from county, state, and federal health leaders.
So we had two pieces of guidance. One was around 2 o'clock, and that was from the county saying that they formally have approved school district's ability to use Test to Stay.
A big question remains, is the testing required or optional? Right now, the school is not mandating the tests unless they hear back from the state on the issue.
Then today, around 10 after 5 p.m., the New York State Department of Health put out additional guidance.
He fears that the school system does not follow the correct guidelines, they could be issued a fine by the state. Overall, Whitaker just wants his students and community to be safe.
The main thing is that we want to make sure that our staff and our kids are as safe as possible. So we're going to do what the science and our physicians tell us that we should do in order to do that.
The board did not come to a decision of what to do with the tests and settled on waiting for more guidance. In the meantime, any parent that wants a take-home test should call their child's school as tests are available. More information is posted online at jpsny.org/COVID testing. In the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. Meanwhile, as the winter COVID-19 surge continues to rage, Chautauqua County is bracing for the impact it will have on our hospitals. As WNY News Now's Julia Gress reports, the number of cases has led to a halt of contact tracing here, which Health Director Christine Schuyler tells us is now an ineffective tool given the high transmissibility of the Omicron variant.
The volume has exceeded our capacity as well as the capacity of the New York State contact tracing team. So we are no longer able to quickly and efficiently notify people when we get a report of a positive COVID-19 test.
Instead, the health director Christine Schuler says that following the CDC's isolation guidelines is the best path to keeping the virus in check. She continues that sharing testing data helps virologists understand how quickly the virus spreads and causes symptoms, which is key in maintaining space in our hospitals.
We've seen with the Omicron, it is super contagious. Fortunately, we are seeing some less severity of illness with the Omicron variant, but we're not seeing a decreased stress on our hospital systems. So while there is less severity in some people, there's just so much of it. So many people are sick.
Additionally, she reminds residents that a majority of hospitalized patients are unvaccinated and that these individuals are most at risk of long-term health effects. According to state data, there are currently only 10 available hospital beds in the county for COVID patients. Schuler added that Brooks Hospital even had to divert patients earlier in the week, which was the first time this has happened locally since the pandemic began. Post-holiday data is expected to be released today, leading the health department to brace for another spike in cases. Free COVID-19 testing is available in Chautauqua County every day from noon to 5 p.m. at the South County Office Building on 4th Street in Jamestown, and on Tuesdays and Thursdays at JCC North Campus on Route 60 in Dunkirk.
So there are more opportunities now for people to get tested, and we're hoping that will again help us to decrease the spread and keep our hospitals open and people moving.
Julia Grass, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. The county health department is urging residents to follow the state mask mandate, saying that the double-layer cloth mask will do the job other than the 5 days after isolation. Well, New York's Democrat-controlled legislature will make key decisions in 2022 on everything from the rollout of recreational marijuana sales to how best to help New Yorkers amid the ongoing COVID pandemic. Governor Kathy Hochul has promised to announce sweeping initiatives for the year in her State of the State address today, including overhauls of the state's ethic rules and public university system. The legislature has until April to pass a budget and decide the fate of the billions in projected surplus. Lawmakers are also facing tough decisions on how to draw new political maps, the fate of the expiring COVID-19 eviction moratorium, and how to meet a sweeping climate change law requiring far less reliance on fossil fuels. Hochul plans to deliver her address from the Assembly Chamber to distance attendees due to COVID. You can watch that live right here on WNY News Now and channel 716 starting at 1 o'clock today, and of course full coverage tomorrow right here at noon. Well, Chautauqua County's representative in New York State Senate now weighing in after Governor Kathy Hochul announced this week that she plans to reintroduce a proposal instituting term limits and ethic reforms here in New York. State Senator George Borrello tells us, while he agrees that placing term limits on the governor and other elected positions could, quote, be something worthwhile, he opposes certain ideas from Hochul's current proposal.
You know, as the old saying goes, the devil is in the details. And I think that, to me, you've also got to look at the outside income limits. I'm opposed to that, particularly for our state legislators, because I think one of the reasons that we live in the worst state in America to do business, and one of the worst states to live in, is because so many of my colleagues in the state legislature have no idea and not understand the impact of the harmful laws, taxes, and regulations that they pass.
Borrello says the legislature would need to pass the proposal in 2 consecutive terms for it to become an amendment or amendments. As WNY News Now continues, why the number of house fires goes up this time of year here in New York State, what you can do to prevent them, and later, how a teen's tragic death is bringing together the Jamestown community and now helping other kids connect with music. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
In the 2020 elections, Pennsylvania was in the spotlight after the country anxiously waited for us to finish counting the ballots there. One senator is hoping in the next elections, Pennsylvania can start counting early votes before Election Day. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp with how Republicans are responding to the idea.
It's essential for our democracy.
After the 2020 general election, when Pennsylvania was put in the national spotlight because it took days to finish counting their earlier absentee votes after Election Day, Democratic U.S. Senator Bob Casey says this year he hopes Pennsylvania will join other states like Florida in counting earlier absentee votes before Election Day.
And then you have that work done before the polls close, and then you can just count the Election Day votes. Then you remove that drama of having votes being counted on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday.
I think it's very important that states maintain their roles in actually establishing election laws.
State Republican Representative Seth Grove, who chairs the influential House State Government Committee, says part of the election reform they're hoping for is to allow counties to pre-canvass ballots, which involves removing mail-in ballots from their envelopes, checking them for eligibility, and preparing them to be scanned.
To require that counties start counting any ballot received prior to Election Day has to be counted by, I think, 9 p.m. So they allow them opening. They're all ready to go for the tabulation machines. So we'll have the bulk of the counting done election night.
So although there's some common ground on early voting, this pre-canvassing proposal is part of a massive state election bill that state Democratic lawmakers have been strongly against, saying components of this bill proposed by Republicans would make it harder to vote because it shortens deadlines to apply to register to vote, apply for absentee ballots, and when people can submit a mail-in ballot. But Republicans argue the bill would modernize election laws, increase security, and argue it would increase access.
We have a long way to go to modernize those laws.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp reporting.
All right, Rachel, thank you. Well, the Great Resignation is marching on. Data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics show a record 4.5 million Americans voluntarily left their jobs in November. That's a 3% quit rate, which matches the high from September. The number of vacant jobs fell to 10.6 million in November from 11 million the previous month. The U.S. reached a 52-year low in the 4 weeks moving average of unemployment benefits last month. That meshes with the number of people quitting, since unemployment benefits generally are not available to workers who voluntarily left their job. Many analysts believe the trend is being driven largely by people who are retiring early. It all means the labor shortage is unlikely to let up anytime soon. And according to the National Fire Protection Association, half of all home heating fires occur in December, January, and February. This results in 500 deaths and over $1 billion in property damage. WENY's Marcia Augustison reports with some tips from experts.
Holy smokes! Half of all home heating fires occur in December, January, and February, according to the National Fire Protection Association, resulting in 500 deaths and over $1 billion in property damage. Max says there are some items you should have on hand to protect yourself at home during these frigid temperatures.
Make sure you have a fire extinguisher if needed, An ABC type extinguisher is usually adequate. Smoke and CO detectors throughout the house. 8 years from the manufacture date, you want to upgrade them to a 10-year sealed battery.
Some other tips, Max says, keep things that can burn away from your heating source.
Your window dressings are not too close to the heater so they don't catch fire. Make sure that their cords are not over excessively long because that can cause a draw on amperage and cause them to heat up.
Max says seal and cork all windows and doors around the edges to prevent drafts from coming in your home.
On the windows, we have heat shrink plastic that you can seal the windows, heat it with a hair dryer, shrink it to prevent airflow from going in. And there's other door seals that you can put on.
Max stresses the importance of having your chimney maintained by a professional before lighting a fire in your fireplace. Make sure your fireplace has a sturdy screen to stop sparks from flying into the room, as well as to keep kids and pets at a safe distance, Max explains.
Some do stick out from the fireplace a little bit, make like an arch to keep small kids further away. Spark-wise, yes, they do detain some spark, but always keep an alert.
Important conversation to have, Marcia. Thank you. Well, demolition work is expected to continue today down at a historic amusement park in Pennsylvania. Crews will be working to tear down what's left of the Conneaut Lake Amusement Park's iconic Blue Streak roller coaster after a fire on Tuesday. Firefighters were called to the park yesterday afternoon. According to early reports from the scene there, what started out as a controlled burn near the park's carousel got out of hand with structures next to the Blue Streak as well as part of the roller coaster catching fire. In a Facebook post, the park's general manager said heavy equipment was used to demolish the roller coaster and small controlled fires were used to burn the wood. Heavy equipment, which was used to control the burn, reportedly suffered some sort of mechanical issue, and the fire then spread to the front part of the loading dock, according to the Post. About half of the roller coaster had already been demolished. The rest of the Blue Streak will come down in the next few days. Now, the roller coaster was built back in 1937. Its demolition just part of the park's new owner's efforts since taking over. The new owner has refused our news partner WNY News Now's request for an on-camera interview about the story. Well, coming up, the latest efforts to continue the legacy of a young Jamestown teen who tragically passed away last week. How that will help other kids in our community. But first, when we return, a look at our full weather forecast as much of our region is bracing for a blast of some wintry conditions. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
What could you lose in a home fire? Your possessions? Your home? Your memories? Don't let your world go up in smoke. Make sure you have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Because fire is everyone's fight.
This message was brought to you by the Jamestown Fire Department and the Chautauqua Safety Village.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Remember when you were a kid, huddled around the television waiting for your school to close? Well, we don't get snow days. When winter weather hits, count on the First Defense Weather Team for a look into the future where the snow is headed next. Live radar showing you the scope of the storm. And real-time reports from the field. So when it matters most, stay with First Defense Weather.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now. With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Sad to see that old blue streak go. I mean, you know, it was one of the last remaining wooden roller coasters in the United States, actually, come to think of it. And something that occurred yesterday as well, not locally, but it happened in Northeast Ohio near the Pennsylvania border. We had an earthquake that occurred in Lake Erie, actually underneath the lake. It was a 2.8 magnitude earthquake that occurred just a little after 8 o'clock yesterday. And again, a 2.8 is relatively minor, and there was some reports of shaking right near the Lake Erie shoreline, near the epicenter location, and nobody in Erie or Crawford County, Pennsylvania actually felt it. We didn't see any reports out of that, but it's actually not as uncommon as you might think it is for the Great Lakes to get a little rumbly sometimes. Again, as we mentioned, there's fault lines that run right through the Great Lakes region, including western New York. So again, not uncommon to get some little jolts of seismic activity every now and then, but no seismic activity out there right now, but clouds really is the story. 37 as a noon hour at the Jamestown airport, a healthy southwest wind of 14. The wind gust is at 29, so the wind chill down to 28. So even though it's a little bit above average, that wind does make you feel a little bit colder. So the next thing we're watching here is really this. Notice all this low pressure area up here in the upper Great Lakes. The lake effect machine has kicked on up here. Notice bands of lake effect snow. This front is going to be moving on through, and this front is going to trigger the lake effect snow machine to kick on tonight, tomorrow, and then through the day on Friday. So here's the watch warning map, because we do have a lakeshore flood advisory that is in place for Chautauqua County, and this is for with the potential, because it turns windy tomorrow, there is the potential that there could be some more lakeshore flooding, something that they don't need. But the bigger issues is going to be up north near the Buffalo metro area where they have that lake effect snow warning. And we'll take you through FutureScan here. Notice how FutureScan paints us basically cloudy through the day today. We will see some rain and snow showers coming our way later in the afternoon. This is late in the day, going into the evening hours. Then notice this band of lake effects setting up. It's going to ultimately start in the southern tier first, the northern part of the southern tier, then work its way northward. And this is where it's pretty much going to stay through the day tomorrow. And the snow is just going to continue from this narrow band of snow basically across the Buffalo metro area, sag its way a little bit southward Thursday night going into Friday. Then we'll get some regional snow as a disturbance ultimately eats away at the lake effect potential. And in terms of the snowfall, this is what we're thinking here. Once you work up towards the Buffalo metro area, could be a foot or more of snow up there. Now, once you work near the lakeshore, near Dunkirk, 6 to 10 inches, wouldn't be surprised if they do extend that lake snow warning for that northern section of the county. But the majority of us, the snow is not going to be necessarily lake effect. It'll be from that quick hitting system that moves through on Friday. That'll bring us the chance for those snow showers on Friday. So that's where most of the southern tier snow is going to come from. Now the next 7 is coming up on the screen, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. There you see the snow showers continue through the end of the week. Some filtered sun on Saturday, 30. Mostly rain showers on Sunday. Colder again Monday. Look at the high on Tuesday, 16. Yikes. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job.
I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working.
I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The Jamestown area community continues to come together following the tragic death of a teenager last week. As family and friends of 15-year-old Alexis Hagen mourn her loss, there is an effort underway now to carry her legacy on by helping other kids and teens in the community connect with music. Melissa Paternity, along with Infinity Visual and Performing Arts, are hosting a Buffalo Bills jersey fundraiser to help raise money for a memorial scholarship in Hagen's name.
From what I've gathered, Alexis is basically grown up in Infinity. They have set up in Infinity is the Lexi Hugan Memorial Fund, so that money will go into that fund.
Ball Game Heroes donated the signed Josh Allen jersey with Quick Solutions printing tickets. The fundraiser kicked off Wednesday, and as of noon, nearly 100 tickets have sold.
Infinity is going to try to do classes that revolve around what she was about, and I think that is even better.
In addition, Paternity reached out to city leaders to see if they could paint City Hall in memory of the young artist in rainbow and green. She hopes that the display can bring comfort to those mourning her loss.
The kids that can go there and have some peace just looking at the lights, and they're beautiful. And so was Lexi.
The lights will be on display through Monday and come alive again on what would have been her 16th birthday on Thursday, January 27th at 6 o'clock. The same day, the raffle tickets will be drawn at Sneakers Bar. In the end, Paternity says it's all about continuing Alexis's legacy.
This little girl's memory and her soul will live on in other children learning the gift of music or theater or dance or...
Now, Dakota, tickets for the raffle can be purchased online at infinityperformingarts.org. Paternity tells me she hopes to host this fundraiser every year to try to keep that scholarship going. So it really is incredible. Let us know what you think about this story and more, of course, in the comments down below. We thank you for joining us here for WNY News Now, streaming live on Facebook and channel 716 on Roku. And I think when you look at this story, which is more than that, right? It's impacted so many people. I think if you live in and around Jamestown, you probably know about Alexis and what happened to her. And to see, the GoFundMe continue to grow beyond reporting earlier this week, and now this fundraiser kick off to further that legacy, I think it's really powerful, at least for me as a community member, to see everybody come together to try to make something positive out of this.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we talk about it all the time on this show, about how, when things happen that are out of our control, we see the community come together in a way,
It really is beautiful.
I don't know what else to say.
It's breathtaking in many ways. So that's it for us today. We're back tomorrow. Have a great day.